If you're moving to Memphis, Tennessee with children or kids, you are probably going to be interested in figuring out the best school districts for them. Obviously, you can go to private schools and place them anywhere, but if you're looking for a home, then the school districts are really going to matter. And today I'm going to go through all of the ratings of the school districts so you can pick what's right for you. My name is Garth Ward. I've helped thousands of people in and out of houses across the last 14 years. And if you're looking for a move, call me or text me at 253-737-8018. So getting straight into the 8 main districts that you would probably be considering while you look at it, you're going to see that mainly when you go outside of that 240 corridor, that's this band right here, you're going to see mostly A's as far as school districts go. So if you're really concerned about the school district that your child goes to, if you're outside of that, you're probably going to be in a place that's going to be fairly good. But let's go one by one from the lowest all the way to the highest rated school districts in the area. So let's start right now with Shelby County Schools. When you hop into it, you're going to see that it is a C for academics. That is the biggest problem alongside with lack of resources that this one has. You're also going to find that the teachers and all the college prep administration and everything is B minus as well. The food is a C. And because of all those things combined, it does get a lower rating. A big standout here is that the teacher to student ratio is a 16-1, and that only 14% of the students are proficient in math and only 23 in reading, 23%. And that is the largest downfall of Shelby County School District. When you come up to Millington, and this is over near the the Navy base, when you come here, you'll see that the facilities are actually worse. The diversity is really good. The college prep is okay. And you do see a jump in the reading and math literacy scores to 20 and 30%. Still not where maybe you want them to be if this is a high priority list item for you. So let's come to the next one for you. The next one I would say is going to be at A minus in Bartlett. So when you come over to the Bartlett area, you're going to see a major jump in all of these things. Everything becomes really pretty good outside of some older facilities that give it a B minus. Everything else is really trending in the right direction here. 17-1 student to teacher ratio. We also have a 41% and a 46% proficiency in math and reading, which puts it at a pretty high level in general. But this is only midway through the options. When we go to the next one, to me, that's Germantown. You come to Germantown and you now get an A rating for your school. The biggest problem here is, again, the resources and facilities. The facilities are a little bit older in a lot of the cases. The resources are and should be higher, but the government doesn't allocate as much funds towards it, even though they get lots of taxes from the Germantown houses. The diversity pulls it down a little bit by being a B minus as well. But you do see a 15-1 teacher to student ratio and 54 and 64% ratings on math and reading literacy for children there. So if Germantown is on your list, this is number 6 best school districts in all of Tennessee. So this is something to really think about. Number 6, that is a big thing to think about. But it doesn't stop there. The next one for me is going to be Arlington. You go to Arlington Community Schools. This is number 2 best school districts in all of Memphis in general. The only thing that pulls it down is resources being a little bit lower on the low end because it does have a smaller tax base in general, and it gets a B minus for diversity. But you still only have a 17-1 student to teacher ratio, and those test scores shoot up to 52% and 62%. So this should be at a large scale ranked across the state as well. Even though a lot of people they rag on Memphis. Let's not get that twisted. They absolutely do. The thing about Arlington as well is you can opt into Arlington because Lakeland opened up. Lakeland all went to Arlington School District until fairly recently. Lakeland opened up their preparatory academies and they lost a lot of students. So people in Eads and outside of Arlington that wouldn't necessarily be in that school district can opt into that school district. So if you're around it, this is potentially a good option for you as well. The next up, and arguably people will say this is number one. I would say that it is tied with number one. This is Collierville Schools. Everybody says this is the best. This is the number one best school district in all of Tennessee, not in Memphis, in all of Tennessee. Here's why. You look at it and you say, A's across the board, A plus in academics. Diversity is a B plus, so that's still a strength, even though in general that's a hard thing to hit in Tennessee. Resources are a B, so still really good. It would be higher if the schools in the lower grades were newer and renovated, but mostly they focused on that high school being opened up not too long ago. And they have a 15-to-1 teacher to student ratio, which really helps that academics flourish, a 56% and a 64% in reading. So really high proficiency and college readiness scores for this school district. Here is the one thing that I'm going to say that this website, niche.com, by the way, if you want detailed information on all of this stuff, is going to be a little bit off on. It puts this as the number one school district in Tennessee, and I think that's fair. But I actually chose to live in Lakeland, and here's why. It already has a rating. With that said, it has the A rating without sports, without college prep, and without facilities and resources properly updated in the system. You have very few reviews because it's a newer district in general. But when you look at the numbers, it's still a 15-to-1 teacher to student ratio. 62% of the students are proficient in math and 58 in reading. So it's right on par with Collierville, but it's a smaller school system. And the reality is the sports, the college prep, and the clubs and activities and the resources have all improved, and it is not a K through 10 platform anymore. That was just saying that because that was the highest years that they had, because they just opened up the Lakeland Preparatory Academy, and that academy has the best facilities, nicest building, nicest campus of all of them because it's brand new. It's almost on par with the private schools, obviously, like ECS, Christian Brothers, and Briarcrest are going to have bigger, nicer campuses because you're paying $15,000 to $20,000 a year for your student to go there. But these are on par with them. So when you look at the best places to put your kid and your family, these are all the considerations. You say, if schools are a big proponent of what we're looking at, then to me, you either want to be in Arlington, Lakeland, or Germantown, Collierville, which is what I consistently say on this channel. I landed in Lakeland because I'm here early. I believe that it will be the next Collierville school system. And with all the changing infrastructure right here, and all the changing shops, food, restaurants in both of these two corridors, we're seeing lots of population growth. And alongside that, we have not seen this properly get rated yet. Once it is, I fully anticipate it competing directly with Collierville schools. And when you're looking for a home here, in general, the Lakeland Arlington area is going to be out about $100,000 to $200,000 less expensive than the Collierville Germantown area, with effectively the same exact school structure while getting closer in. If you have to drive into town, if you have to drive up to base and you're military, you're also going to be extremely close comparatively with those better schools. All that to say, if you, your family, or your children have super specific needs, wants, desires, or your commute mixed with your school district, or you need very specific things from your school district, you can always reach out directly to me, and I'm happy to help walk you through all those nuances and make sure that you guys get into the right area for you and your family. If you're relocating in from out of the area, I know that this can be a little bit confusing sometimes, And I know the negative perceptions countrywide about the greater Memphis area. You just have to go by the numbers, the stats, and the data, not the hype. My name is Garth Ward. You can call or text me at 253-737-8018, and I'm happy to make sure that that transition is smooth and the right one for you and the family.